This is the altar. There we go. Much simpler. So I'd like to go ahead and start, and since we don't have much sound going on, I'm going to go ahead and take my headphones off. Full moon this month, the May full moon is the last supermoon. The last time it's going to be that huge and close to us. There's a lot of important stuff going on around us, and we're all trapped in these little shells. And the shells are kind of sucking us in, and that getting sucked in, right now is the time to build the strength to bust out. I mean, we're a couple days ago when we were having Beltane, I was talking about fertility, and that's what we're at again. This is about fertility. This is about that passion, that fire, that need to escape and burst out of the shell is really coming out and really starting to burn inside, especially with how all of us are really tucked inside. So that's kind of the idea here with the moon that we're going to do. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and start with invoking the East. And I don't have spaghetti in the house anymore, so I'm going with a piece of Guardians and Watchtowers of the East. Breath, fresh air, ideas, pure thought. Join us this day as we celebrate. Join us as we celebrate in anticipation, as we give forth our thanks and we give forth our energy in our thanks. So mote it be. Lords and ladies of the South, guardians of the watchtowers of passion, magic, and energy, join us for our right as we work to burst forth from our shell with as much effectiveness and as much growth as we want to manage. So mote it be. To the east, or to the west, lords and ladies of water, cool, refreshing water, gentle rain, the deep emotions, the lifeblood of our souls and our bodies. Lords and ladies of the guardians of the watchtowers of the earth, of the north, protection, strength, understanding, steadfastness. We ask you to witness our right. Lords and ladies of the center, keepers of the balance, spinners of the wheel, cutters of threads, understanding of fate, humanity, and the courses left to us. Lady Astarte, we call to you in this moment of time. As we ask for your fertility, we ask for your passion, we ask for your growth, we ask for your love. Times are hard, and we need your guidance. Join us this evening. So mote it be. My Lord Pan, join us for this rite. As we ask and we join and we learn and we divine, help us to climb in and out of our own desires, understand our needs, and what must come first before that which we want. It's all a matter of progression. Everything in life is about stages. Please help us understand how these push us through the ages. The circle is cast. Let it not be broken. So mote it be. Before I started what I was talking about, and let's see if I can actually... That's a little better. When we started this journey inward in February, this is sure as fuck not where we thought we'd be. And it's just really weird where we're at and how we're going, where we're going. We're all being forced to fertilize right now, kind of. And I'm not, and even the things that we don't want are fertilizing. So we need to pay attention to what's going to crop up out of this time. And what I'm referring to is these times where we've shut ourselves in, and there are things that we are taking out of this because we're shut off, and so we're not always dealing healthfully. Not always. We try really hard, but times come and moments happen where you don't, and no matter how hard you try and you want to, and that's okay. Because that's what it's like right now for everybody. Everyone is going through these moments, and it's a shared experience that it's hard to talk about, but it's still a shared experience that needs to be talked about. Because if we don't talk about these things, then we won't be able to process them. We're going to think that we're weird and alone, and it will isolate us even more. And that is the biggest danger here. Allowing this temporary isolation to drive us further down and under. And that is really what we have to avoid doing. Because it's easy. It's really easy to go ahead and stay in that shell. And it's gonna be super easy when we can finally come out of it, because we're not gonna trust anybody. I went to the park yesterday. I drove around it. It was really full. None of them motherfuckers were distancing. There were groups of like 20 people, and none of them were distancing. I know they don't all live in the same place, and that's what scares me. But I know that I need to come out of it. I'm gonna need to come back out into groups of people. And so I'm gonna have to learn how I'm going to cope with that. And that's one of the things that we can take out of this full moon, is that this full moon is an opportunity to focus on our inward growth, our outward growth, the fertility, and we can use this energy to burst forth and kind of drag our fears behind us. And if we really want to keep them, hang on to them, but if we don't, this is an opportunity to let kind of get drug out just because of the explosiveness by which you explode out of your shell. But the important thing is to learn and figure out a way to take value forward out of what we're experiencing. Because that would be the greatest loss, is to not actually learn anything out of this. To not take advantage of the opportunity to take those things that we have made whole in ourselves and learned about ourselves during this isolation during this moment, these moments of being locked in our shell husk before we burst out, and take those things out. Take those quirks that we all kind of developed, because we all, it's one of those things I've noticed that a lot of people have kind of picked up new habits, or actually getting back into old habits that are good for them, and they're learning and expanding. And that in itself is that growth. And the idea is, after we come out of this, we got an idea of what's actually necessary. So what do we actually want to carry forward out of it is what we end up being presented with. What do we want on our stalks? What do we want to, what fruit do we want to hang from our limbs? What are the things that we want to offer to share with people that we're bringing out of this? Like I said, there's a lot of personal growth, a lot of introspection, a lot of amazing creativity that's been coming out of this time period and out of these moments. And my prayer and hope, and what my energy goes towards, is that none of that is lost by people's desire to return to a normal that you can't have again. The interesting and the hardest part about normal for everyone is the fact that no matter what, that moment will never happen again. We can never go back. Every second is a new second. It's all a slice. You can never go back. You can't fix any of it. You gotta live with what you've got. And instead of trying to make it something that it was, put our energy into something that we're making it into. Because it's easier to add energy into forward progress than it is to try and dig your heels in inertia. And that's the difference here. Is it time to explode out and take all those things with us? Or is it time to be really super cautious and make sure that we get things right back to normal, because normal felt comfortable? I mean, it wasn't exactly what was good for everybody, but it was comfortable. And that's really the thing. We need to work on making it good for everybody. And that's everybody, all of us included. So, those are my thoughts for the moon. Because that's kind of where the focus for me is this moon. This is the opportunity to take advantage of her energy to help us propel. So, I'm gonna like to lead a short meditation it's a simple seed just to help us reinforce. So if you take a moment with me and close your eyes and get comfortable, relax, sit back if you can, lay back if you can, and with your eyes closed. When we sit with our eyes closed, we normally look straight ahead. There's this place up, about where your third eye sits in your forehead. If you sit there, it makes an amazing screen for journeys. So take a look up there, and you'll find yourself standing in a large clearing full of grass, about knee high, circled by trees. Some of it's gone to seed, but not all of it. It's still early. It's still kind of crisp in the air. You can feel it on your face. While you feel that breeze, face into it. Let it embrace your body. Let it cleanse you. Let it flow over and around you. Feel as the coolness pulls the stress, droplets flying off of you. If you look over to your left, you'll see there's a cave. Walk over to the cave. You'll notice that it goes downward. It goes inward. The slope becomes steps as you begin to descend faster. You see a light ahead of you, and as you enter into the light, it becomes too bright because of the darkness. So you cover your eyes, and you're greeted by an old woman sitting by a fire. "What do you want to grow?" she asks. There are seeds on the table behind you. You can grab bits and pieces of all of the seed piles. They're all labeled. They're all exactly what you want and exactly what you need. You don't have to choose one over another. You can have it all. Take all of them and put them into a bag on the table and thank the lady. Begin your journey back into the light. When you get back up to the grass, as you walk into the sunlight, you'll notice that over to the right, there's rows that have already been rototilled and are waiting for you to plant. This is your place. This is your time. Plant as deep as you want, as shallow as you want. Plant as much as you want. There's a hose on the other end of the open grass. Go through and plant and water. And then sit after you've done that for a moment and look at your work and think and see all the amazing things that will spring forth from the earth. The bounty of your work. The fruit of your labor. We'll come back and check the seeds as they grow at midsummer in the July moon. But for now, make sure you fertilized, watered, and planted everything you want to, because you can have it all. It's a matter of the work you put in. It's a matter of the effort you make. You sow the seeds. You do the work. You reap the efforts. The success. Turn back towards where you started through the grass. You'll see your path. And walk back to where you are. And once you've arrived back at yourself, open your eyes and rejoin for a moment. For myself, my seeds are planting things like new jobs, new friendships, new ideas, new ways to help people, new ways to grow as a person, new ways to understand myself. Those are the main things I'm seeking. For that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everybody on mute, and we're going to clap our way through a cone. So, because the snake dance is not really convenient right now. So, I'm going to hit mute for everybody. Mute all. Yes. And ground. And ground and let it out. Feel all the tinglies on your fingers escaping, and feel the energy flow into your body. And what you need is retained. What you don't need flows through and out through your feet. Ground out. See, I am wearing pants, or at least a kilt. I'm sure there was debate or suspicion. You probably would have been right normally. So, I figure an oblation libation can be done afterwards. Let's go ahead and thank the deities and the elements for joining us, as well as say our goodbyes. And with that, we call to the Lord. Lord Pan, we thank you for your gifts. We thank you for your witness. We thank you for your guidance. Please join us on our daily stroll through life as we work to become the things that we want to be and leave behind the things that we don't need to be. Go if you must, stay if you will. Let there be peace and love between us now and always. So mote it be. And poop. That didn't work out nearly as well as I'd hoped it would. All right, there we go. I get to burn myself instead. Lady Astarte, we thank you for witnessing our right. We celebrate in your name, in your honor. We ask you to rain your fertility upon us, to help us understand and navigate the tricky times that are coming forth. Go if you must, stay if you will. Let there be peace and love between us now and always. So mote it be. Lords and ladies of the center, keepers of the wheel, holders of balance, help us to understand and to treat people equally, to help people reach harmony and to understand our own justice. Go if you must, stay if you will. Let there be peace and love between us now and always. So mote it be. Ow! Yeah, okay. Lords and ladies of North, protection, strength, perseverance. We thank you for joining us. We ask you to help us understand and go through our lives. Help us to pick the best paths that are safest for all involved. For all involved. Go if you must, stay if you will. Let there be peace and love between us now and always. So mote it be. Lords and ladies of the West, water. Help us to understand our days. Help us to understand the things that we need to understand that we cannot see. Help us to understand the things that are hidden. And help us to understand our emotions. We need your cooling. We need your life. We need your blood. The time is now as the world begins to flood. Go if you must, stay if you will. Let there be peace between us now and always. So mote it be. Lords and ladies of fire, passion, magic, we need you now. We need magic solutions. We need passionate leaders. And we need fire in our lives. I miss dancing around you, and I shall again soon. Join us and help us push through and fuel our passion. Go if you must, stay if you will. Let there be peace and love between us now and always. So mote it be. I know you didn't want to leave. Lords and ladies of the air, thought, cooling winds, tornadoes, and all the things that are speech, thought, and invention. We need quick thoughts, we need wonderful solutions, and we need understanding that runs beyond the wisdom that we would generally get. The times are tough. Please help us to understand to levels that we would never have understood before. Go if you must, stay if you will. Let there be peace and love between us now and always. So mote it be. The circle is open, but unbroken. May the peace of the gods and the love of the goddess be ever in your heart. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. Blessed be and divine do. Thank you. Pan lives. Pan lives. Pan lives. Pan lives. Pan lives in the forest. Pan lives. Pan lives. Pan lives. Pan lives. Pan lives. Thank you, everybody.